Hello once again. Hey, it's Dan here in Virginia. I've been working on my Cub, and the wheels, these stock wheels on the Cub have gotten pretty worn, and besides that, the inside hub, the plastic hub, normally breaks, so they're starting to wiggle around. So anyway, I've heard a lot about inflatable tires, and you can get inflatable tires. You can get them from Dubro. But there's also a company called Kavan, K-A-V-A-N. They're made in Germany. And so I looked into those and decided to go with some Kavan tires. And so I got them yesterday. Mailman bought them. I got all excited. Got them in here and mounted them on the plane. You can see they're got a chrome hub. They're not, some guys say they're not scale-like, whatever that means, I don't know. But if you don't like shiny chrome hubs, I don't think they look as good as these originals. But they mount right up. They come with two inserts for different size axles, but they come with a size axle that fits perfectly on your Cub. You do have to move this inside collar. Maybe you can see it. This inside collar on the wheel, you have to move it outward this way and retighten it. And you can see they run true as can be. They're real slick. So, but the deal is you've got to inflate the things. So, you know, I never always into tinkering. So I went online a while back and I found this. I said, okay, I'm going to get get me a tire pump with a low pressure gauge, because you can't put about 11 pounds. That's all they say. These Kavan tires are made in Germany, and the manufacturer is Northwest. They're made in Germany. Well, I got them from Northwest RC. You can Google them. They're out in crazy land out in the west, up in Oregon or somewhere. But anyway, got them there, and I think they were 60 bucks for the two of them. And you get the inserts, and you also get this special inflation nipple, this thing right here, which don't lose it. You only get one. So while I was waiting on the tires, I said, well, I got to have some way to pump them up. So I looked all over the internet and I said, well, why don't I get a tire pump that's a low pressure? So I found this online, and it's called a Franklin. I don't know, just bought it off of eBay. I think it was 12 bucks. It's a pump, works pretty good. You know, it's for basketballs or footballs, but it works both ways. It works on the push and it works on the pull. So you can see it'll put some pressure on there. And either way, it puts pressure. And they give you, naturally, they give you a little old basketball pin. You put it in there and you tighten this down in a rubber grommet, and then you stick it in your basketball and go to it. Well, it has this special little gauge you can see that would hold the pressure on a basketball or football, and then when you're done, you just press this release button, and the gauge will go back down. So I thought, well, that'll be cool. So I'll rig this up for my Kavan tires. So I got this, and I said, well, these Kavan tires, I got them in the mail yesterday, and I said, how the heck am I going to do that? You can't just stick this basketball pin in the tire. This takes a special fitting, this little thing right here. If you can see that or not, I hope you can. This little nipple, this little brass nipple comes with the tires. So that little nipple has to go into the tire, like so. Screw it in, make it tight now. And then you've got to force air in there with the pump. So I tried to, I got the pump, and the deal is you got to get some way to turn one of these. You get 3 of these with the pump. 3 of these basketball inflators. You got to turn one of those into something like this. So what you have to do, you have to go to the store, and you have to buy, this is called a Splicer, a 3/16 inch brass hose splicer. Now that is what that looked like when I brought it home yesterday. And then you cut it in half with a Dremel tool, and you get 2 of them. One I've used, and I spare one to make another one. So then you take your needle valve here, and you put this, you can see this has to slip over here, and the idea is to solder it. You solder these together right around the base, which is not hard to do. You can, but you first of all, you've got to clean. This is mainly brass. Clean this off with your emery paper, real fine emery paper. Get it cleaned up, especially down around the neck, down around the bottom. Then you put this on, and you hold this with a pair of pliers, and hold it on the bench. Put the pliers on the bench where it's hanging down, and then you just heat this with your. I got a small propane torch, butane torch from Harbor Freight. Put some good flux on there. Don't be afraid to flux it up. Use your regular solder, your 60-40. Get that hot and just put it on there, and you'll pull right on there. And you end up with a fitting that looks like this. Now you can see, hope you can see, this one, it didn't come out in the center, got a little off center, it moved because it wasn't hanging straight down. That doesn't matter. So as long as it seals, that's good. And then you can cut the excess pin off. You can cut this off, which I did today. I don't know. You don't have to. You could just put that in there like that. If you want, you can put it straight in. So anyway, you get that made up. That's the nipple is the key thing. I looked all over the plumbing stores. You can't buy one like this. So you have to make it. So then I've got some hose. I tried some brake line or some fuel line hose, 3/16. That didn't work out. So I found some of this hanging up on the wall. This is clear vinyl tubing, 1/4 inch OD, 0.17 ID. I don't know where I bought it. I've had it for a long time. Probably bought it at Pitkin's hardware store here locally. So you take that, and this little nipple, this part right here, I just screwed. It has threads on it. It just screwed in. I took a pair of pliers, held this, and this went in real easy. This end here that you press on, you have to press on over these barbs. This is not so easy. These are barbs. They only work one way. So what I did was I took this, got this together, went upstairs, and lo and behold, my lovely wife was boiling some eggs in a pan. I said, hey, that's what I need. So I just took this little hose. Don't tell her now. I took this little hose and I dipped it down in the boiling pot for about as long as I could, for about a minute. Pull it out and take this thing and pressed it on there. You got to dry it off with a towel, but you press that on, and it's on there, man. It's on. It ain't gonna leak. So there you go. So now you got your little adapter for your Kavan tires. So then all you got to do is put this in your tire pump. Put your in the tire pump. Tighten down the tire pump to expand the O-ring like that a little bit, and then you just come over here and you screw this right into the tire. I had trouble. I couldn't get the tires to inflate yesterday. All you do is screw this in like this until it stops. Okay, now they tell you only need a small amount of air in these tires, which is true. You don't want to put more than about 11 pounds of pressure, but you snug that up. Okay, now this gauge, as it turns out, really won't do you any good for inflating this tire. It will work fine on a basketball or football or something like that, but inside this tire, I figured out the check valve is a little ball valve inside here. And this nipple does not open that ball valve. It's just in there pretty tight. So then you get a hold of this and you give this several good licks, just like you're pumping a high pressure bicycle tire. So you have to give it some rapid pumps to get the air in the tire, because it's the air pressure that has to press hard enough to open that little ball valve, and then the air goes in the tire. The rest of the air will escape around these threads. They're not, they're not perfect. So then you back this out, and there's your tire pumped up. So like I said, this is a cool little gauge on this pump. It'll work great for whatever else you got, but it won't work on these tires. So then you just come off the side and you feel them. You're going to have to learn to feel the pressure. So I can tell how they were. They come out pretty soft when you get them out of the box. You're going to have to go by a good old feel, and you're going to have to fly them and figure out what you like for the conditions that you're flying under. Mine is a grass field. So next thing I made was this thing here. That used to be a large paper clip. So I just started bending it. But what you can do to this, if you put too much air in the tires, you can put this in there and push on that check valve and release some of the pressure on the tire. So there's a custom-made pump for pumping them up. and they will pump up, but you can't, there's no mystery to it. It's the air pressure that you had to build up to open the check valve. This does not open the check valve by screwing it in. And it's not hard to solder up. So anyway, I got mine. I'll see how it works, and we'll see how it flies. I don't know, they say these are pretty cool, but they're probably just like my road bicycle, just a pain in the butt to pump up every time you want to use them, but maybe not. So we'll give them a try, and what can it hurt? So anyway, hope this helps you if you decide to go to Kavan Tires. Fly safely out here.